Hello, and welcome to another episode of Manifesting with Feng Shui. I am so glad you are here. And today is literally my favorite day because if you've been here for any amount of time, then you know that I absolutely love all of my astrology friends, because when we're talking about manifesting with Feng Shui, we pay attention to 3 different types of energy. We pay attention to, of course, the energy of our surroundings, our immediate environment, our personal energy, but also the universal energy. That includes the moon phases and, of course, the planetary alignments. So here we are getting ready for the 2026 year of the horse. And I couldn't think of a better person to have on the show today than my dear friend, Graham Breitenstein, founder of Drunk Astrology. Welcome, Graham, all the way from San Diego.
Hi, Christina.
Ooh,
It's the privilege of a lifetime to be here with you. So we can just start right there. Thank you.
Oh my God, I'm so grateful that you're here today. And truly, we just set an intention that all of the listeners today, all of the viewers, and I highly recommend watching this on YouTube because Graham is dressed to the nine. Actually, I feel like we're very complimentary. We'll talk about that in just a second. We channeled our inner Venus signs, and I think it's going good. But the whole point of this is I really feel like our intention today is to really get you set up for 2026 so that, Graham is an expert in helping you to manifest big using the planetary alignments and moon phases. And I'm part of your daily dose crew. I get daily updates from you every single day. It's so meaningful. Your private readings have changed my life. And so I'm just so grateful to have you here. And I know that the listeners are going to walk away feeling like they know what they can anticipate in 2026. And your zone of genius is actually making it practical so that people know what kind of actions to lean into. And so I'm so excited for that. But before we get into that, I just want to say something.
Okay.
We have a mutual friend. So Graham came in from LA. I was saying San Diego, but my coach, Gabrielle Forleo, came in from San Diego. We both share Gabrielle.
Yes.
She's both of our coaches. And I actually started her episode similarly. So there are 8 billion people on the planet, which literally blows my mind, right? We're just like a grain of salt, right? And I think this is a true fact that less than 1% of them can honestly say that they have danced during a Super Bowl halftime show. But Graham, you can say that, can't you?
I can freaking say that. You are correct.
And I think that I want to just pause and just take a moment just to recognize how significant that is. One of the things that I love about Graham so much, and you've been on my podcast a couple times already, and this is our first IRL in real life. But Graham, there's so much I want to say right now. First and foremost, you started Drunk Astrology backstage of Lady Gaga concerts because you went on tour for a decade with Lady Gaga and you were, danced on stage with her, including the Super Bowl halftime show. And I would love for you to give us a little storytelling around how Drunk Astrology came about, because I still am fascinated to this day. But also what I could say about you, Graham, is you are a Virgo, but you're the most Leo Virgo I've ever met in my life. You're extremely organized and you're extremely ambitious and you're freaking self-taught. The fact that I just can't even encapsulate the courage that it takes to be that kind of person that can do that and then tour with Lady Gaga for 10 years. But ultimately your Venus is in Leo. And I think that that's why I I can get the Leo vibes from you.
Oh, yeah.
But okay, all the things. Welcome. Go.
The fact that you pick up on Leo, though, really means that my life motto resonates and hits, because I always say, Graham, let the Leo win. Because my sun, my moon, my rising, my Mercury, and my Mars are all in Virgo. So that's a whole lot of mutable earth energy. And then my fixed fire Leo Venus is just sitting there just play, because trust me, the Virgo is going to Virgo no matter what.
Yeah. Well, you're doing a great job of leaning into that.
Yeah. Well, for anyone watching, you're going to see my Leo, the lion here hanging on my little cosmic goodie bag. I was an English literature major when I was in college. and got my degree in English literature, and I love personifying everything. So I have said, let the Leo win for well over 10 years. And then recently did my 40th birthday like bash, going to Hawaii, and met this little fur lion friend and was like, that's my Leo Venus. And so now literally everywhere I go, I have a bag, and Leo is always like chilling with me. It's just like a nice little like reminder of like, just play, have fun, which you and I were definitely having a lot of fun before we pressed record today. Behind the scenes things that will be, I'm sure, shared at some point.
Potentially they will be shared, or they'll be locked up and for no one to ever see. But we've been having so much fun. I played Taylor Swift New Romantics when you walked into the studio, and
because
we had a little,
both Swifties.
Of course, we had a little dance off, and it's just so fun to have you here. For the listeners who, of course, we're going to get into like the 2026 report and everything, but like for the listeners who are hearing us talk about, throw around this term Venus sign. You know, I'm a Venus in Scorpio. Mm-hmm. You actually confirmed that I'm dressed Venus in Scorpio, which I didn't know.
Very
I thought I was,
much so.
Okay, we'll love it. And you're Venus in Leo. Like, what is the Venus sign? Like, why is that significant?
Well, it's how you connect. It's how you connect with the outside world. So, you know, when you get into interpersonal relationships, you're going to look at Venus because you want to see, like, how does this person see me? How does this person see themselves? And how are they, what's their love language? What's their love style? I love a flash. I love an outfit. I love to, you know, especially the performer side of me, like I love to be the center of attention. I don't mind it. Now, it's funny because the rest of my chart really doesn't say that planetary wise. Virgo is more like, let me do the work. So I like to like combine my chart to say like, oh, let me show how I can do this work, or let me show others how I can help, be of service, which is a really Virgo thing to do. You know, so it all works together in really interesting ways. Virgo and Leo, technically, they're next door neighbors in the zodiac. So they don't necessarily like get along. They see the world through two very different lenses. And I personally was like, you know what? I've seen my life through the Virgo lens for long enough. I think I'm good. I would much rather have fun, make life a party, and be remembered for, you know, connecting with other people and helping bring that part of themselves out, whatever it looks like to them.
Okay, so I think what you're describing here is like so powerful, and this is what I feel like I've learned this recently in the last 5 years. When you look at your birth chart, it's like for so long I was like reading my sun sign horoscope, not realizing that like we're both Taurus risings. Yes.
No, I'm a Virgo rising.
Oh wait, what are you in Taurus? Taurus something?
Taurus North Node.
Taurus North Node.
Yeah, you and I share that.
Okay, we got that. So anyway, I think it's really interesting to like look at the different signs of all the different planets because they all tell a story. And I love what you're saying. You're basically saying like, if there's a part of your chart that you're just like, I am exhausted by this, I need to lean into a different energy, you kind of have that flexibility. And I think that that's the gift that you really share with people through your work. And I'm so excited to really give everybody the opportunity. Let me pull in Logan really quick. We have another guy in the studio, obviously producer Logan. Logan, we talk about astrology all the time.
We do. I'm nowhere as near versed as this gentleman here, but yes, we do talk about it a bit here.
I know, but I feel like this podcast really could be like manifesting with astrology because I'm always thinking about it. I'm always asking you questions about your astrology. I just feel like that's how I see the world, and that's how I understand people and their personalities. So what is your sign?
Cancer. And I also just remembered my Venus is in Leo.
Oh, okay.
So you both have that.
Okay,
yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Charisma down, charm down.
Yeah.
There you go. And your moon is in Scorpio, you said.
Moon is in Scorpio. So yeah, I like to get deep and dirty and dark.
And your rising?
Aquarius.
Okay, so there we go. You know, it's actually really funny. We're like the captain planet of podcasts right now.
Ooh.
Air, earth, water.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know my chart by heart. I'm a Libra sun sign.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we really have, you know, the fire. I mean, your moon is giving us a lot of fire.
My moon's
energy,
in Aries. That's
but
a fire.
My Leo Venus is fire. We've got fire with Logan and his Leo Venus. Like, so we really are. We've like compiled all the elements.
All right. Amazing.
This feels good.
Let's get it going.
This feels balanced. I really like this.
Is that why it took about 10 minutes to get this podcast started?
We might have played a little too long, but we made it.
It was so much fun. And I'll never take that back. Okay. So before we kind of get into, what to expect in 2026 with all the planetary movements, those big ones and those big themes.
Yeah.
What are you going to do to prepare yourself and your community for 2026? I would love to hear it because, I do like the Welcome the Wealth ritual. And I keep saying, mark your calendars. And I know you're going to do this too. So February 17th is the Lunar New Year. And that always correlates with a new moon. And I know you're you have a group called Moon Phase Manifestors, right?
Yeah, that's
so
you're all group about coaching program. Oh, I love me a moon phase. New moons, full moons, and those sneaky ones that no one, I feel like, ever talks about, the quarter moons. Because when you take specific, nuanced action under each of these moon phases, there's no other possibility than you moving the needle in your own life. So I actually, because you asked the magical question, what I'm going to do to prepare, I've been doing something for the past 3 years. It's a bit of my own Manifest BIIG method, and I brought my magnum opus with me today, which I want to give you a copy of. So let's just...
Ooh. Is this fresh off the press?
This is fresh off the freaking press. This is my Manifest BIIG in 2026 journal. This is a blend of science-backed methods for setting goals in a way that truly highlights what matters most to you. It uncovers what are the most valuable experiences you're looking to have right here and right now. So the first half of this Manifest BIIG in 2026 journal is a scientific method to uncovering exactly what you want. And I can't tell you how many clients came to me first saying, I would love to work with you, but I don't know what I want. And so 3 years ago, I was like, you know what? I think there's time, there's the spiritual way that we reflect, we channel, we listen to our intuition. There's the spiritual way of doing that. But I have discovered over the years that a lot of people are intimidated. They love the spiritual world. They're attracted to it. They're magnetized to it. But there's a lot that, for whatever reason, there's a disconnect in the world at large that I think is our role as spiritual entrepreneurs to remind everyone that the spirituality lives in you. There is no separation between you as a feng shui practitioner, me as a certified card reader and astrologer. We can all tap in this way. But I was like, you know what? The Virgo in me is so good at finding the practical approach to make this accessible, to make it easy, to make it simple, and to make things unfold in a way that is even better than you imagined. So I went on a hunt and I was like, you know what? I have taught manifesting from a spiritual lens for years. So why don't I go see what the science folks are saying? And so what I realized when I was doing this huge deep dive in 2023, we're all saying the same thing, but we're using different language. I love manifest. I love manifesting. Obviously, I know you do too. But the science folks will say oh, you need to audit your life. You need to set goals. You need to set hyper-specific goals. And I'm like, well, this is goal setting and manifesting. We're talking about the same thing. How we get there, we're pretty much talking about the same thing. Where they say audit your life to uncover what means the most to you, we're saying do some intentional reflection. And that's going to unfold what matters most to you. So I said, well, there's the sweet spot. Let's blend the language to get the same result. And so that the spiritual people and the science people can both come together and use a tool like the Manifest Big in 2026 journal to really see how specific they can get with their goals. Because you know just as well as I do, the more specific you are, but at the same time open to receive this goal in a way that is even better than you think the end result can be, that's when you're in the manifesting sweet sauce. When you can say like, oh, I know this is exactly the goal that I want to hit, but I am open to this unfolding in a way that works beautifully.
This or something better.
Good. Yes, that feels good. So that's the first half. The second half is where the moon phase magic of it all comes in, because then you take your wish list, which is what it's named in the Manifest Big journal. You take that and you align it with the moon phases, and there is no way that you're not going to see that end result pay out either as you've done it, as you've scripted it, or way better than you even imagined.
And you've been doing this now for 3 years and you're living proof of it. You've moved houses. Now you're living right off of the beach. I believe you got a new car, like all sorts of things. You've hired a business coach, and now you've you also make investments in yourself during auspicious times. I think this is where our work does align and why I'm going to love this journal so much. I'm 100%, 1,000% doing it. Like I'm already actually doing it.
I know
in my
you're
head.
already flipping through. You're already getting in.
But I think what's cool about this and what's helpful is, yes, there's so much research to show that like when you write things down, it will happen. But what I like about this too is like you also can get really specific during specific moon phases.
Yes.
And depending on what sign the moon is in, right?
Yes.
Like because like Scorpio, for example, like rules sex and money and investments. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay. So like you
in essence, sex, death, and taxes.
Okay. So is that like just an example? Like, is there like certain things to do during like, is a new moon ever in a sign?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
New moon in a Scorpio versus like a full moon in Scorpio. Like, do you have like
very different energies and
things that you should be doing? And does this book actually walk you through that piece or,
yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So when you curate your 2026 wish list in that journal, you now have a list. However, because I called it a wish list, I put 11 spots, because 11 for wishing, it was just too good. So you have up to 11 wishes that you now, based on the major moon phases throughout 2026, which is the back half of this journal, you now get to say like, okay, as I begin 2026, I want to focus on, I'll give you like my 2024 example. I was hell-bent on my financial situation and was like, okay, I'm going to start with this goal of eliminating debt. But I also had fitness goals. I also had, I knew it was going to be time for a new car. I knew it was going to be time for my partner and I to move to a bigger place. But none of that to me seemed possible until I figured out what to do about my debt. So I was like, okay, I'm going to focus on that. And then it worked for the first moon phase. But then when I got to the quarter moon in January of 2024, the way I translated that was not the same. And so I was just like, okay, wait a minute. I really wanted to focus on this, but if this doesn't match up with the energy of right now, then I guess I need to shift where I'm focusing. And I really didn't want to. I was really like kicking and screaming internally, like, I don't want to do this. I want to focus on my debt. I want to get rid of this so I can move on. But I was like, you know what? Instead, I'm going to follow this guidance and shift my focus. And when I did, I ended up landing in a fitness super trainers test group for a new program that was yet to come out. And the whole experience was free. I got a nutritionist. I had 5 days a week of working out. And my goal of 20 to 30 pounds gone by the end of the year. That was my fitness goal.
Yeah.
I reached that in 2 months.
Wow.
And simultaneously, as I continued doing the test group and following the moon phases, then my financial goals started. There were breakthrough moments. But for whatever reason, I had to focus more on my wellness first. But that came through following these moon phases. Like, oh, wow. I had set yearly goals that felt to me at the time like, oh, wow, yeah, I'm not even going to be able to get to this until way later. And then literally by May, it was like, well.
Okay, so here's a clarifying question though, because I understand like you're like, and this happens too, because I help guide people through manifesting with feng shui. And it's so easy to be like, this is what I want. And of course, we need to let go of the when and the how. And that's the hardest part, which is why I think it helps to have some type of a mentor or group program or something. But you know, when you said that you had to shift during the quarter moon, why was that? Because you were like, I'm focusing on my debt, but then all of these opportunities with your health came up.
Well, this is when you start working really close with your chart, and which I do all day, every day.
So like you knew that there were like some opportunities in the health sector of your chart. So you started making shifts. Is this are you kind of basically explaining this is ultimately like how you sort of developed this model organically? And so now you've condensed it into this really easy peasy book, which like literally I'm flipping through this, like, thank you for this gift because, you know, when I work with people like my Quantum Leaper Mastermind program, we align with the new moons and the full moons. Haven't done quarter moons yet, but you're making me think maybe we need a guest speaker or something. But like truly like this is so great. Like this is so key. And I think the difference is like what I can learn from you is just getting even more specific on my actions during the full moon. Because I know the full moon is generally a great time to show up and be seen. Hello, Taurus full moon that we're in right now.
We're under right now.
At the time of recording. I mean, by the time this actually gets out into the world, not quite there. But you know, I absolutely love this and I'm excited. I think you are the walking embodiment of just showing how this works. But like, I can't give away all the details. So after today's recording, like I said, there's 5 guests who have come from across the country. We have someone from Dallas, San Diego, LA, Louisville.
My hometown, which is so wild.
I know. The stars are really aligned with everything. And we're going to have like a nice dinner tonight. And I'm just so excited to sit and talk with you about all of this. And just like really, really excited. Oh, you're also sharing your gifts of oracle readings, which
I am.
Do you do those? Like, can people like just sign? I've never done an oracle reading with you. I've done a one-on-one.
Yeah. You've done birth chart reading, but I also do 3-month, 6-month, and 12-month oracle reading like maps.
So that's probably popular at the New Year time.
Oh yeah.
Because people are like, tell me, that stuff works.
Oh,
like it's wild. What I love about oracle readings is getting one for the year and then looking back and being like, oh my God, that's how it unfolded. You don't know how it's going to unfold, but those are awesome. What I wanted to share with you is I'm going to just kind of give you like the surface level of how you made an influence on me like recently. And then I'll tell you all the dirty details at dinner, but sorry, everyone.
I love
Listeners
you.
don't like to hear
gosh.
that. But basically like in June, I was actually here in Austin to record my podcast and I had like a day to myself. So what I decided to do, get a reading with Graham Breitenstein because truth be told, 2025 has just the year of the snake, threw some curveballs at me. And
Uranus and Taurus on your North Node for sure.
On my North Node, which the point of what I wanted to share with you is that I had a private reading with you in June and you actually guided me by looking at my chart. You guided me exactly what to do. You're like, between now and the next full moon, it was a full moon when I got the reading. It was a Sagittarius full moon. And you're like, between now and the next new moon, this is what I would recommend that you do. And it changed the trajectory of my life, I think. So I cannot wait to share more details with you, but I just want to share with you like how, you know, these, I'm also a daily doser. So like I get all of the daily updates, which have been really helpful. I love learning about the void moon and like knowing like when to like avoid grocery shopping hauls. And I actually took a personal day because of a void moon. Remember that? So I kind of just love it. And what I love about your work is it just like helps you to like, again, like know when to rest and know what kind of specific actions to take. So just thank you. Like you've changed my life. So thank you.
You're so welcome. I mean, I think that's the thing that's important for everyone to know, that as I see it, the universe, spirit, source, God, I mean, literally interchange the words. I really believe that the divine gave us the gift of the planets to have a very practical tool to give context over the season of life you're in. Because once you start looking at things in your chart on a granular level, like I do, when you're in a season of conflict or struggle, challenge, tension, stress, when you see what planet is involved in that, or in planets, and where it's touching down in your chart, you all of a sudden can understand that, oh, if this is Saturn, then this is a challenge I have to go through, but I'm meant to be holding myself accountable. I'm meant to be holding others accountable. I'm meant to create a sense of structure and discipline in my life through this challenge. So instead of going like, I never get what I want, which some people having a Saturn transit might be saying because they don't have the context. So then when you look at it through this lens, it's like, oh no, this is Saturn, not an easy planet by any means, but the reward when you create structures, when you are more discerning, when you are more disciplined, the rewards are great on the other side. But if you're having Uranus involved, well, then you know there's a need for revolution. There's a need for a big shakeup, right? And so Uranus is anything but subtle. So when that influence shows up, like this is a necessary internal revolution. It's a call to arms. It's a call to action. And it's a volcano eruption happening in your chart. So in your case, like being on the point, the North Node, well, the North Node is our karmic
I think it entered my North Node in November of last year.
Probably.
And it stays until August or something of 2026.
Yeah.
So I have a nice revolution.
Uranus is one of our outer planets. So his movements are slower, but felt big time. But the conversation between the planets in your chart here's this inner revolutionary coming to the point of, I mean, my little joke about the North Node is like, well, this is the part of our lives and our chart. This is where we suck at first. We're not great where the North Node is. We have to learn through experimenting. We have to learn through trying, failing. Because from the North Node's perspective, the longer you keep trying and the longer you keep failing, but learning from each failure, then the more wise you become, the more you go from student to teacher, So you have these 2 points talking to each other. They're on top of each other in a conjunction. I look at conjunctions like Uranus, hand, North Node, hand, and they're shaking hands. So there is a shake, rattle, and roll effect happening on the part of your chart that is like, you have to fail. You have to try. You have to fail. You have to try again and fail and continue to learn. And when Uranus finally moves away, the stories, one, you're going to have to tell, but two, the wisdom you will have, because you'll never experience Uranus on your North Node ever again.
Well, I kind of want to actually like I do want to shift into like how as a collective, since it is a slower moving planet, I do feel like it's going to impact us all in 2026. But like ultimately also just to relate to what you were saying, like I feel the same way about, you know, feng shui. And like when I give the energetic report for like the year of the snake versus the year of the horse, it's like I knew going into the year of the snake, like I shared with everyone in my like welcome the wealth, like we talk about like the energy report. And it's like we knew this was going to be a year of shedding. And I know you've even talked about that too yourself. And we kind of knew that there was going to be, it's a 9 universal energy in numerology. So a year of endings. And we know 2026 is going to be a year of new beginnings as a 1 universal energy. But just because we know it, like, I don't think it always makes it necessarily that much easier, but it does help to be aware. So you could just be like, oh, well, like this is supposed to happen. And I feel like astrology is kind of like helping with that too. Like it's still tough. You still have the lessons to learn. You still have the things to push through, but at least you can be like, oh, well, that explains why this is happening.
Yeah.
It's like really validating.
I have a personal beef with this word, but it is so true for the year of the snake, a 9-year, but transformation. It's one of those words that is so easy to say, but it doesn't really capture the process that of really alchemizing your reality. I mean, the whole idea of alchemy is you are melting into nothing to then be reformed into something else. That is not, you know, as souls having a human experience, that is, or shedding a skin, to use the snake imagery, like that is going from who you've been and then looking at or having an idea of who you're becoming, but having no further, there's no more context. There's an idea of who I'm becoming, and there's an understanding of what my past is. But when you're in that chrysalis moment, when you're in the beginning of that skin separating, there is a whole lot of, I have no idea what's happening. And so, you know, that's where like my personal beef with like, just the loose using
we don't want to be
like
general, and that's why you're like, do these steps, take this, like do the moon phase manifesting or manifest big in 2026. So I love and appreciate that. Okay, so I want to shift in for everyone, but I feel like it all connects. Shifting into 2026, what are some of the general themes that we can anticipate for this next year? But like also, as you were talking about alchemy, I was like, you're 40, I'm 41. I think your Pluto is probably in Scorpio because that's generational. And I feel like Pluto is the planet of the Phoenix rising, and then Scorpio as well. It's like a double whammy of like transformation. Yeah. So I know that like last year, Pluto kind of shifted into Aquarius. It bopped in and out maybe of Capricorn, Aquarius, but now like we're fully in Aquarius. So I would love to hear from you, like what's Pluto and Aquarius bringing us for the next 20 years, but like especially in 2026, what can we expect? You mentioned Uranus. I don't know if that's going to be like another big one, but I'm just going to like kind of like let you go. I cannot wait to hear about some of these themes and what we can expect in 2026 and how we can prep.
So the backdrop of 2026 is that Pluto is in Aquarius and will be in Aquarius until 2044. So Pluto, as the ruler of Scorpio and transformation and alchemy, in its first year being in Aquarius is the sign of community. It is global connections, networking, massive networks and massive groups of people. Pluto's first role in alchemy is destruction. So we have seen, have we not? Because it first entered Aquarius in November of 2024. So have we not seen a massive swing of, destruction just in terms of core principles, just in terms of large communities coming together and revolting in some way, shape, or form, right? And my favorite part of this is we all have in our birth charts an area of life that is ruled by Aquarius, and Pluto is now touching down, destroying something there so that it can then help you rebuild a part of yourself to emerge out of your own ash like the phoenix, right? So the backdrop of 2026 is this, like, here we go, year 2 of this energy leading the way, but as the slowest moving planet, it's really like this long-term process, because we're going to be riding with this until 2044.
Okay, here's a question though. So when Pluto shifted from Capricorn and into Aquarius, does that mean as a collective, it shifted into a different area of all of our charts? Yeah. So whatever, like we were all in like this like 18-year span of like transformation and alchemy, whatever that chart ruled, depends on your chart. And then now you got to find where, oh, this is interesting.
Yeah,
I wonder where Pluto is in my chart.
Yeah, so then you shift.
Kind of have an idea, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll have to look.
So that's what's so fun about working with your chart and really understanding, like, this really is a snapshot of life. It is your your most epic timing tool and contextualizer of your experience. So Pluto in Aquarius is in the background for the next 20 years. So then what makes 2026 a breath of fresh air?
Oh, yes. Thank you. I needed to hear this.
Yes. No, it really is the dawn of a new era. And it's really thanks to all of the other outer planets. Slower moving, but none are as slow as Pluto. And it really is indicated just in the shift of the year of the fire horse, which is why on the Manifest BIIG journal, there's the Drunk Astrology version of the fire horse. Yes. Like, it had to be neon blues and pinks and yellows because, that's the Drunk Astrology way.
Yes.
But like that free spirit energy that comes with the horse. I mean, being from Kentucky, my grandparents had 2 horses. Like, there is a freedom component that I think is going to be probably the first real whoosh of energetically shifting the zeitgeist that I think we're all ready for.
Okay.
But
so ready.
Planetary wise, we also have Saturn, Neptune, and Uranus all changing signs. But 2 of the most exciting, in my opinion, they're all exciting for their own right. But Saturn and Neptune are both going into Aries, which is the first zodiac sign. So we're restarting. There is a refresh button from the universe's standpoint that it gets pressed when those 2 planets make their entrance. And Saturn's doing it in January, and or am I doing it wrong? I might be flipping it. One of them is in January and one of them is in February. So we get, from a planetary standpoint, this like, okay, great. Well, Saturn takes 29 years to complete a cycle. So like, thank you for coming to the beginning of the zodiac again and giving us a chance to start over. And Neptune, way longer to circle its way around the zodiac. And so now you get the planet of work with Saturn, planet of work, of discipline, of boundaries, honoring and setting them, discipline, sure, challenge, but it's also a call to mentorship. Saturn can be stressful and it can be a challenging energy. However, when you have support, baby, you are tapped into where that planet supports you and shows you how to get support, which is like getting my own coach. It was so like, that was a Saturn move. That was like, oh, okay, I can't do this on my own anymore. So that was me really looking at my chart, and Saturn being in my 7th house of relationships and partnerships. Like, I have these big goals. I have to, if I'm going to appease the Saturn of it all, I need to bring in an expert. I need to bring in someone that can look at things from a different perspective. That's satisfying. And the rewards were great. It was an uncomfortable investment at first. Saturn's uncomfortable, like you have to just lean into the fact that, like, I call him the astro dad. He comes in like, I told you, that's what you needed.
So we all get a cosmic reset because Saturn is now like Aries. Like, when you think about the houses, it's the first house, right? And it's like, are there 10 houses or something?
12.
Oh, 12. Okay. Well, 12 houses. So this is why you're here. But then Neptune, what did you say about Neptune to me when we were dancing to Taylor Swift New Romantics? You said something about Neptune.
Did I?
What's your Neptune?
My Neptune's in Capricorn.
That's why you're wearing the shirt.
That's why
See,
I've got my
that's
Capricorn
what it was. I'm like, you brought up
on.
Neptune. Neptune's like the dream planet, right?
It's dreams. And
now it's going to be in Aries. Is this
Neptune
okay?
Going into Aries, is it going to be okay? Yeah, it's
well,
going to be okay.
Because I don't know. Like, is it happy there?
Well, it's happiest in Pisces, which is where it's been since 2011. But I think we've had enough. You know, Pisces can be idealistic. Neptune in Aries is more like, what dreams are you willing to fight for? What ideals are you willing to go to bat for? How courageous are you willing to be? And it's going hand in hand with Saturn. So we've got this dreamy, lofty, foggy energy of Neptune in Aries, kind of like leading that like dreamy path, the manifestations, like all the spirit leaders of the world, like here we come.
Oh, I love this. Wait, so spiritual entrepreneurs, we're talking, of course, our feng shui practitioners, our astrologers. We had
mediums.
We just had our spiritual medium in the space. I mean, there's so many other different
sound bath healers. All of us are called to arms. We are all called
with
to step
Pluto
forward.
being in Aquarius, which rules the collective, and it's like I perceive that as like, you know, when Pluto was in Capricorn, we were really working on the self and doing a lot of inner work independently. But now that it's in Aquarius, like we want to be more in community and heal together, retreats, different things like that.
Yeah,
is that what you're just going to start to see?
Well, and here's the big difference.
Okay.
We've been seeing the outer planets in earth and water. When you put all that together, it slows us down and it really riles up anxiety. It riles up worry and doubt and fear. Now in 2026, we're getting air and fire. This is where the action comes in. This is where you really break out of, and this is why I love that it's the year of the horse. You break out of kind of any like self-imposed shackles and you run free. You get the invitation to break free. And I love that Saturn and Neptune are making the switch in the beginning of 2026. Uranus will also shift, but it's a little bit later in the year and it will move into Gemini. And so again, Uranus being the planet of revolution and of change and radicalism, it's not comfortable in Taurus where it's been since 2018. Taurus is a sign that loves comfort. It loves its routines. It's fixed. It likes stability. Uranus blows up stability. So we've seen that in the collective, you know, looking at, you know, supply chain. You know, we had a freaking pandemic, you know, but then it also brought a way to work from home. It, you know, brought remote work into it, brought the technology that supports working from home, remote work, putting us more like, oh, wow, like the way we earn and make money has completely shifted with Uranus and Taurus. Now it shifts into a place where it's actually comfortable. Uranus and Gemini is now the local.
Well, I'm ready for that because then I'll be off my North Node as well. So that is August 2026.
Thank you very much.
So get ready for that. Thank you so much. I feel like really like just to kind of like bring it all together, what you had basically said with like Neptune and Saturn and all of those pieces is you basically said like, this is the fresh energy, like the year of the horse. You've got the air and the fire and it's time to break free of those shackles and like move with like your hair in the wind. And honestly, I'm like, you said this earlier in the interview and it's just like, we're all saying the same thing in different ways. And I've always seen how like astrology, human design, numerology, feng shui, all of those modalities literally speak to each other. It's mind-blowing really like when you really kind of dig into it. So thank you so much for sharing your gifts with us. Thank you for helping us prepare for 2026. Thank you for flying in from LA.
Of course.
I'm so excited to have dinner with you tonight and to get maybe hopefully an oracle reading under the trees at the Four Seasons.
And so this is the last thing I want to say.
Okay, of course. Go ahead.
The reason why a tool like the Manifest Big in 2026 journal is pivotal. when all of this energy ushers in, you want to know exactly where you're going to channel it. Mm-hmm. That's why that is, to me, like the most essential tool to have. Like that first part will get you into like, this is exactly where I'm going to move. This is where I'm going to shake. This is where I'm going to be my own little freak flag flying rebel in my own life to shake shit up.
Well, I have parts of my chart that have the Capricorn energy, so I like to be structured and organized. So I'm 1,000% doing this with you.
I can't wait.
Thank you so much, Graham. I love you.
You are so welcome. I love you too.
Oh my gosh. And everyone, I will see you next time where I'll help you design the life you deserve. See you soon.